Hello everyone, Assalamu alaikum. I'm Manahil Jawali. I am a student of Rehan School, Kurengi campus. Welcome to the Future of Work podcast. Today we have the pleasure of speaking with Ma'am Tammy, also known as the hero or teacher. Ma'am Tammy, thank you for joining us today. So, how are you?
I'm doing amazing. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here and speak with you. A little hero in the making with your own mighty mission, right? I love this.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure. So, before moving on questions, can you please introduce yourself for my viewers?
Yes. So I am a teacher in Ontario, Canada. I've been teaching for over 25 years. My passion and purpose is to revolutionize education, to bring more holistic tools and strategies to support children with social and emotional intelligence so they can thrive in life. So basically, helping them to become the little heroes I know that they are born to be.
All right, that's fantastic introduction. Thank you so much for your fantastic introduction. So now let's move on to questions. So my first question is for you. How do you believe fostering social and emotional intelligence in children can shape future of workforce?
Well, first, I feel like the area that we need to focus on is giving children the tools and the strategies right from the beginning, right? So we teach a lot of times math and science and all those subjects, and we categorize them as important subjects. But if children don't have the focus and they don't know how to get along with one another, and there's a lot of disruptions, and they're not focused on what they're doing because they're stressed out or they're fighting, they're in fight or flight, right? So you're not present and they can't focus on the learning. So the first order of anything for them to really be successful champions of learning and of life is to be able to get them to focus, to get them to find their center, to calm down, and to be able to work together in collaboration. And we don't teach those as a skill. We just expect 4 and 5 year olds to come to school and know how to do this, and we need to spend the time and the dedication in doing that. So that's what I do. I spend 50 minutes a day, every single day, and I work on those social and emotional skills, and I give them tools and strategies for success.
All right, ma'am. That's really wonderful, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your answer. So, like your innovative tools like the mood mastery
Mhm.
cards and clarity stones are fascinating. So, could you share how these tools enhance learning experience for children?
Yeah, absolutely. So the mood mastery is helping children to understand their moods, right? And under just having awareness. So if they're aware that we have basically four, like in kindergarten, I teach the basic four moods and emotions, right? So we have the first one is, let's say, anger, right? That's a natural response inside of us. And then the next one would be, let's say, sadness, right? And then the third one would be fear. And then the last one I teach is calm, peace, and like happiness. So I put them with four colors. So those are called, we use in Canada here, we use something called the zones of regulation. And so red would be anger, blue would be sad, yellow would be fear, and calm and happy would be green. And so, what we help children to do is identify with those emotions, and that they're basically just talking and teaching us something. So, when somebody hurts us, it's a natural response to be sad. And when something goes wrong and it frustrates us, it's a natural response to be angry. Or when we have to do something that requires us to be courageous, it's a natural response to be fearful. But if we're in anger, sad, and fear, when we're about to learn something, that's not a good place to learn. So I help the children get into the green zone, get them to be in a calm and peaceful and happy place before we start the learning. So that's the first order. Those other subjects are very important, obviously, for our success. But if we can't learn them, digest them, and we don't know how to sit nicely with each other, we're not going to be able to learn that. And part of it is I get the kids to move really quickly. I don't make them sit for too long. We need to practice how to sit and focus to learn, but then I'm always getting them to move their body and to turn and talk to each other and to work in collaboration so that they can really understand the learning. They're not just the passive listener learners. I give them leadership opportunity in the classroom as well. And the little stones are something they can hold on to when they are feeling that emotion. And then the green zone and the green emerald stone is something that they bring back into that calm and peaceful place. So they always want to get back to the green zone so that they're ready to listen, learn, and then lead.
All right, ma'am, that's really wonderful. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your answer. So, as we created the kindergarten masterclass, which is intriguing. So, what inspired you to create uh, this program, and how does it prepare children for the future challenges?
And they were crying and they were fighting and it was just really a chaotic environment. And most teachers, dreaded going into the gymnasium where all these children were gathered and there was lots of sports equipment and injuries all the time. It was chaos basically. And so what happened is, because I was in there for 3 periods in a row, I couldn't do it. It was going to be affecting my mental and emotional health, for 3 hours in a row every single day. So basically, I had to come up with these strategies. And so as I came up with these strategies, and because I've been teaching over 25 years and I understand child development, I understand psychology, I understand social and emotional intelligence very well, I was able to incorporate, and I started to discover that the biggest motivator for children was leadership. That if I could get a little person to lead the exercise, everybody else wanted to be the leader. But I told them that they had to be their best self, that they had to lead with kindness, and that if they wanted to do that, they had to listen and learn first. So it didn't happen overnight. It's taken over probably the course of 7 to 8 years to really refine Kindergarten Masterclass. But when I understood that there was a language and there was a structure and there was a routine to doing it, and I empowered the children, it became a classroom utopiary world. So now when I teach Kindergarten Masterclass, it's magic. You walk in, I'm like the child whisperer. It is like beautiful. I ring my little bell and I could have 3 classrooms all together and it's silent within 2 seconds. 2 seconds. And everybody, identified, behave, it doesn't matter. They are all in their very beautiful, peaceful green zone energy.
All right, ma'am, that's really inspiring. Thank you so much, ma'am, for the great answer. Now let's move on to discussion. Integrating entrepreneurial skills and leadership initiatives into teaching is forward thinking. So, how do you incorporate these skills into your teaching, and why do you think they think key are crucial? They are crucial for children' future success.
We start with entrepreneurial skills, but I had one foot in education and then I started to become an entrepreneurial on my own. So I had a dove hit my window on 11/11/11, which is really crazy, at the moment of silence in front of my classroom. And that started my entrepreneurial journey into that world. And the more I started to work with entrepreneurial children and get exposed to more of those tools and strategies, I realized that those were tools and skills and strategies and values that every child needs for the future and needs to be successful in life. And we don't teach those skills in school. So this was really important that we started to incorporate it, and not late on, right? Not when we're 17 and 18. We need to teach them these skills so that they're habits from the very beginning. So that's where it was really important. And then I ended up working with entrepreneurials that worked with children. So that was a really important thing as well. And I learned it myself. So as I learned it myself, I was able to adapt it and incorporate it into working with children. And it's basically the skill set that's going to set them, for success for life.
All right, journey comes with challenges. So, what are some biggest challenges you face in your work and how do you overcome them?
Okay. I would say the biggest challenges for me has been changing the mindset of other teachers. That many teachers are still in the old ways of doing things, and they don't know how to think forward. They don't trust that children, could be little leaders at 4 and 5 years old. So I'm going to make you get you to think about something. The Olympics, for example. If we didn't start training children at 4 and 5, and we were still in the old mindset that we're not going to put children in sports or athleticism until they're 18, 19, do you think their skills would be as well developed? No. So the reason why children's skills are so well developed by 8 or 9 is because we start putting them in skis and skates, and we put them into gymnastics, and we put them into sports, or any type of activity at the very youngest of age. And then because kids aren't afraid, right? They're not afraid. They have this eagerness and they persevere. So the earlier we start putting them in, and the earlier we could start to change their mindset. But this is why it's so hard for teachers and adults, is because we have been in a stuck mindset, and we've been doing it for so long, for so many years. We don't know how to do it a new and better way. And so I had to change my own mindset first. I had to start living and trying it out in the classroom before I could start to believe it, even myself. So it's a transition. I would say that's the hardest thing, is transitioning the old ways of doing them into the newer ways of doing them.
Yes, that's really great answer. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your great answer. So now let's move on to next question. My next question is for you. How has your work with children influenced your own personal development?
Yeah, that's a big one, because I basically, they are my biggest inspiration every single day to live my best life. Children are incredible little souls, right? They know how to forgive, they know how to love without conditions, they know how to play. They're amazing with creativity, their imagination. Children are persevere. A child will fall how many times before they fall and get back up again. They don't give up. Children are incredible. So every single day I look to them as my master teachers. They inspire me. They're actually more inspiring to me than most of the adults I know out in the world. And so as I've learned and grown and grown myself, but they have been the biggest thing, and they've helped me to change my thinking, because every day I see how incredible they are, and how resilient and how adaptable they are, where adults aren't. So they basically are the ones that have helped me grow into my best self.
All right, awesome, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your answer. My next question is for you. What is your vision for the future of education, and how do you see your work contributing to that vision?
So just recently, I connected with a mompreneur who's raising 3 kidpreneurs, and the business brothers, Adam and Matthew Torin, and they are all in entrepreneurial world. So what we have done with our new company we've co-founded together is called Raising Empowered Kids. But we are now working in the holistic of the child. So home, school, and work. We need to start bringing those worlds together, because it's one continuation for a child's life, right? They first start in the home, then they enter into the school world, and then we need to connect the dots and help them connect into the workplace. So when you start that language and you're working in collaboration with each other, all in synergy, you're preparing a child for their entire life, not just sections of their life. So it's scaffolding.
All right, ma'am. Great. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your answer. So, how do you involve parents in the learning process? And what impact do you think parental environmental has on a child education?
Well, parents are children's first teachers, right? So that's where everything comes to the child first. So those skills and those parent skills need to be in place. But the biggest issue that we've had is we don't know what the parent toolkit. We don't come prepared with the parent toolkit, right? We can drive a car, we can do all these things. We have to go through a license and go to school to become a qualified career professional. But anybody can have a child, and we don't have a manual and we don't have resources to support them in the most important job in the world, which is parenting. So what I'm here to do is help parents, help teachers, giving them the tools for success, tools and resources. And that's why I'm working with a mompreneur who's already done it with 3 teenagers successfully. And her son is actually the COO already at 17 of Kidpreneurs. So she's got 3 successful teens at home. I've been teaching over 25 years and I've created the Kindergarten Masterclass Utopiary World. So I'm a transformational educational teacher. And the business brothers, Adam and Matthew Torn, have started their own business when they were 8 years old. So they are successful entrepreneurs as well. So when we bring our worlds together and we start to share our success and the tools and resources that we've done, we can start to support people on the steps and what they need to start doing right at the very beginning, because it's very hard to undo a habit. We want to start these habits from the youngest of ages.
All right, that's really fantastic, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your answer. So, the world is constantly evolving. How do you keep your teaching methods and curriculum up to date to ensure children are prepared for the future?
Well, just like again, when you're working with forward thinking business partners who are in the world of entrepreneurial, if I was just teaching alone, I wouldn't be as far advanced as I am. But I've got one foot in education and then I've got the other foot in entrepreneurial, and I understand what's happening with world events and I understand what's happening in the homes. So because I'm on constantly in partnerships and collaborations, and I'm on these kind of interviews with you internationally, I'm hearing and seeing what's happening on a big level all over the place. So that's how I keep fresh ideas coming into my classroom.
Oh, great. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your answer. So, in what ways do you promote diversity and inclusion in your classroom? And why do you believe it's important for young children to be exposed to different cultures and perspectives?
So it's very important because I teach basically in animal school. So animal school has no denomination, no religion. There's no separation, right? It's just, a bird can fly and a fish can swim and a squirrel can climb. They're very different. And we don't expect them to all be the same. And we don't put hierarchies. We don't say to children, I don't teach children that flying is more important than swimming, or swimming is more important than climbing. So when I do this, I help the children realize that every single one of them has superpowers. They all have individuality. They're all made for different reasons, and not to compare themselves. So I teach kindergarten with animals and animal school.
All right, ma'am. Awesome. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your answer. So, technology plays a significant role in modern education. How do you integrate technology into your teaching, and what benefits do you see it bringing to early childhood education?
I see technology, basically what we're doing here is, if you don't have, let's say, an innovative teacher, or you're feeling restricted or limited in your children's education or development, well, this is where, when COVID hit, we've basically all got on technology, right? We all learned how to connect with one another. And if you don't feel like your kids are getting the support that they need in your local community, well, now we can reach out internationally and we can support them in innovative ideas and with teachers and with camps. And that's one thing we did, is we ran an entrepreneurial camp this summer, and we were connecting kids from all around the world. So we get to help them meet one another. They get to be exposed to different thinking, cultures, ideologies, strengths, and they also get, innovative ideas if you're not getting that in your local area.
In my school, we are also doing same. Like we are connecting with people all around the world and learning from them, and like we are connecting I connecting with people all around the world before 1 year, and I see the difference because when I am not taking interviews in English and with foreigners, so I don't speak English. I did
Right.
not speak English, but now I speak English and now I understand. So I see the big difference, and I see the others culture, and I see others people uh, how they can live, how they can do their work, how can do their how they can motivate themselves. So I learned a lot of things from them. So that's why I'm taking your interview, and I'm doing same in my school.
Right, because we're only exposed to our local environment prior to, COVID, and all of us reaching out and connecting and talking and networking. And as we do, our ideas and our imagination and our innovation just started to explode, right? Because we all started to share and talk. And for me, I was just kind of doing my own thing in my own classroom, and nobody really knew what I was doing. Nobody, and I wasn't really sharing it with the other teachers because they didn't think like me. They were doing their own stuff the way they always had done it. So nobody really got to know the work that I was doing until I started to work online and have technology expose me and connect me to people, forward thinking people and educators all around the world. And now we all are starting to come together. So that's the biggest benefits, but it's not only for adults, like you say, it's for the children and the students, and you guys networking and connecting and talking to each other.
Yeah, right. So what inspired you to continue to your work in early childhood education? What motivates you to keep innovating and making a difference in the lives of young children?
The biggest reason, to be honest, is because children are the future and education is the key to change. So if we start working, just think about this. If we start transforming kindergarten learning environments all around the world, starting in kindergarten and giving them the tools and the strategies that they need to be mini athlete, like Olympic champions of their own life, then in 20 years' time, those emotionally stable and advanced and socially connected and innovative minds and little leaders are going to be the ones at 20 and 25 years from now. And that's what we need. We don't need to start teaching them this in 20 years from now. We need to start now. And I really don't know that many people that are doing personal growth and development and all the work that I'm doing at such a young age. So it's the young age that is the most important to help preserve our planet, to help bring us together in unity and harmony. And we need to start doing that where children are already there. Children already get along. They don't see judgment. They don't see race, religion. They're not prejudiced. So we're already starting with their mindset that they're already connected and want to do this. They want to protect animals. They want to protect the environment. They want everybody to be happy and peaceful. That's children's natural state. It's as we get older, we start to get into our head and get in conflict and competition, and we start getting into the wrong reasons. Children are very altruistic. They want everybody to get along well. So if we start at that young age, we're going to have an altruistic world in 20 years from now.
All right, that's really wonderful. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your answer. So, looking ahead, what advice would you give to educators looking to implement similar programs in their classroom?
Well, you need a mentor, a coach, or somewhere, right? If you think about anybody who's successful, even if you have an Olympic champion child who's really athletic, without coach, mentorship, or guidance, you're not going to be able to make it, right, to the Olympics. Children need teachers. They need coaches, teachers, mentors, parents that are going to champion them. So the biggest thing I would say to you is you need the tools, you need the strategies, and you need somebody to guide you there. So think about the ocean of world of information. You're not going to be able to find your treasure at the bottom of the ocean if you're just you know, on your boat sailing all over the place. You need some type of a map, a compass, and direction and guidance to find what it is you're looking for. So find a coach, a mentor, or teacher, and make sure you have the skills and strategies to get there.
All right, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your advice, and it's been absolute pleasure to speaking with you. Your insights into early education, childhood education, emotional intelligence, and innovative teaching methods are truly inspiring. Thank you for sharing your wisdom for the incredible work you are doing to shape the future of education. We look forward to seeing the continued impact of your work on the next generation of leaders and innovators.
Awesome. And if you want to learn more what we're doing with helping children from roots to wings become the best that they can be, you can visit our website at raisingempoweredkids.com. So you can get that all for free and follow the newsletter and the advice weekly and monthly. So super easy.
Once again, thank you so much for joining us on the Future of Work podcast. It's been an enlightening conversation, and I'm sure our listeners have gained a lot of from your experience and advice. So, to our listeners, thank you for tuning in. We hope this episode has inspired you to think about the future of education and the role we all play in nurturing our children's growth. So stay tuned for more insightful discussions on the Future of Work podcast. Until next time, keep learning and keep inspiring. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you for having
Bye.
me. It was wonderful.